Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're out here in the yard and I've got with me the Sonata Roamer fat tire e-bike. This is a 1000 watt bike. I've had it for just about a month. Fat tire e-bikes are a lot of fun. This past trip I headed out with my dog Marley to a very rugged and remote location. We set up camp and over the 2 days we covered just about 40 miles. Where we were able to use the bike to explore some of these trail systems that simply would have been inaccessible to us in the time that we had. I was able to cover a lot of ground fairly quickly and efficiently with the least amount of fatigue possible. Now it had just rained, and so I did lower the tire pressure, which I found made the ride a lot smoother, and a lot of those off-camber turns that had a lot of mud were just a whole lot easier to get through on the fat tire bike. This past month has been a lot of fun with this e-bike, and it really has opened up a new door to really being able to get out and explore some of these new areas. So I figured I'd go over some tips and tricks for you guys. If you own this particular model or just an e-bike in general, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to show you guys really applies to a lot of different bikes. This particular model, along with a lot of other e-bikes, have a hub drive motor. It's actually in the wheel here. These work really well. This particular model is 1000 watts. You know, these are fat tires, they're big 26-inch wheels. Having a motor like this with that much power does put a lot of strain on the wheel itself, the spokes. And so when we go on long rides, this is definitely something that I need to check when I get back. You know, make sure that the spokes are tensioned properly, make sure that there's none that are loose. If you hear any kind of a noise coming from the wheel, you know, when you're riding, any kind of a creaking noise when you're turning, that's usually a pretty good indication that you might have a loose spoke, and you want to go around and definitely check that, along with the front wheel as well. I basically just go around the entire bike, make sure everything is tight. You know, around suspension components are usually areas that get loose. The cranks, definitely want to make sure those are tight. You know, make sure that your derailleur is adjusted properly, that the bike is shifting gears. It's just part of preventative maintenance. You know, even go ahead and clean the chain if it looks pretty dirty. Because the last thing you want is, you know, a major component to come loose when you're riding. That's going to end your trip really quick, and you know, it can even be dangerous in certain situations. I did put quite a few miles on the bike on our last trip. We did ride through some pretty rugged terrain. We had some rain, and so there was a lot of mud, and a lot of that debris got kicked up onto the bike's components. You know, the brakes, the front forks here. And that's one area that you really want to look for around the tubes here. You want to make sure that that's cleaned off, and you don't want any dust or debris on there, because that can damage the seals to this front shock here. And once I clean that off, I usually put some high-performance suspension grease kind of around that O-ring there just to lubricate it, and that's going to really kind of prolong the life of your fork here. Just a little tip for you guys, definitely something to check for if you guys do a lot of riding. So I really hope I was able to share some useful tips with you guys. You can look forward to more videos with this e-bike. I will ultimately be doing a review of this bike. I just want to use it for a while. But for now, I figured I'd just share a few tips to hopefully help you guys with your bike. And I look forward to seeing you guys in future videos.